it's Cassie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a fun one. It is my September TBR, and in September I will be taking part in Bookoplathon, of course. If you don't know, that is a readathon hosted by Becca from Becca in the Books based on her TBR game. So I'll be playing her game to pick my books for September, but I'm also going to try and take part in the fall Seasonathon Academy readathon, which I will leave the links and all that for both of the readathons in the description box below because they'll explain them much better than I can. But the Seasonathon stuff will be later in the video. I'll try and put timestamps, but I'll probably forget because my brain is jumbled currently. So if you notice that in this video, I am sorry. I've got about a million things going on in my life right now, which I bet lots of you can relate to. So yeah, hopefully this video is just not too chaotic, but no promises. Before we get into my roles, I have to do a little bit of an update, a little disclaimer or whatever. In September and October, I will be traveling in Europe, so I'm super excited about it. I don't have all the details. It's going to be a little bit more of a free-spirited type of trip, but because of that has had an effect on my TBR, and it'll have an effect on my TBR for October, and it will have an effect on this channel, like how much I post, just because when I'm on this trip I'm gonna want to be in the moment, and I'm not gonna be probably editing. I probably won't get that much reading done, and so I've had to kind of set this TBR up surrounding that. But I'm going to a bunch of different places in Europe, so let me know down below if you live there, if you've been there, any places that you would recommend going, literally just for anywhere. Because of my traveling that's going to be a little bit longer than a normal vacation, I've had to maneuver how I'm going to do these prompts. I had to do the rules ahead of time a couple days ago to plan this TBR out in a smart way. Usually I pick the books as I do my roles for my game, but this one I just decided to do 5 and then pick my books because I need to be smart about the picks. I'm gonna try and get this TBR done. I'm gonna try. But I don't get my TBR done sometimes when especially recently, when I am at home. So when I'm traveling and don't have that much extra time to read, there's no promises that I am going to finish this TBR. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below if you're interested in checking any of those out. Follow my Instagram if you want to see any pictures from me traveling, and if you want, you can subscribe to my other channel where I think I'm going to be posting travel vlogs. We will see how that goes. I'm only going to be doing 4 rolls, normally I do 5 on my own TBR, but I only wanted to do 4 just so I had a smaller amount, and plus if I got doubles, then I wouldn't have an outrageous amount of books to read. Let's go to the first roll. This is my little tracker. It's a crystal, so I think I used it last year. But let's just get into the first roll. Oh, good, I got a double on the first one. 1, 2. Community shelf. So we will be doing 5 rolls now. So the first roll, of course, I got doubles, so that means I will have 5 books for this TBR. If I look down, it's because I had to write notes because my brain would not compute about what books would work for what prompt. The first roll, we got a 2, which brought me to community shelf. So with community shelf, you can make these little cards, and on each of them you write a prompt and you pick one, and that is the prompt you have to fulfill for your community shelf one. I didn't want to print all of those out and all that, so I just brought out my little jar with all my extra prompts from my TBR game, and I'm going to just pull one from here. We're gonna get this one, and I hope it's not bad. Oh my gosh, of course. More than 400 pages. And this one was one that I was hoping I could just do on ebook or audiobook. This is what I was planning on reading on my trip because it'll be easy to read an ebook or an audiobook. So let me go do some searching. This actually works out because one book that I potentially wanted to get onto my TBR is Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Brutal Birthright series. I read the first one in April and I quite enjoyed it, and I wanted to continue the series eventually, but I didn't really know when I was going to do it. It says it's 430 pages, so that works as an ebook. The Brutal Birthright series follows these two notorious families in Chicago, I think. They're kind of enemies and want different things, but in the first book they're brought together by a marriage of convenience, kind of like a treaty thing through this marriage of two of the siblings. And that book is the enemies to lovers trope and forced marriage trope. And then the rest of the series, I think it follows each like different siblings from the two different families and their relationships. This one follows Nessa, and I think she was kidnapped. Nessa is a sister in one of the family. That is what I'm going to read for the first prompt with Community Shelf. Picking a random prompt. Let's go into my second roll. Okay, roll number 2, a 3. Not moving very far. 1, 2, 3. Spring. So something spring about the book. Next space I got was the prompt spring. So basically the cover can be spring, that could be set in spring, just anything reminds you of spring with this book. So I'm actually really excited about this one. It ends with Us by Colleen Hoover. I mean, this is very spring with the flower and the color. I feel it gives very spring vibes. I've wanted to read this for quite a while, but recently multiple people I know have read this, including my mom, and she keeps wanting to talk to me about it, and I haven't read it yet, and she keeps almost spoiling it for me, so I want to get to it. I'm hoping to read this before I go on my trip. I leave 2/3 into the month, so to be honest, I don't super know what this one is about, and I've done that on purpose because I know certain topics that are in it, but I don't want to know everything about it going into it. I've kind of gone without knowing really what it's about. I'm not gonna read the back currently. I kind of hate it when people do that, but sorry, I'm gonna do it. But it's Colleen Hoover, and it's one of the most hyped books like ever. So I hope I enjoy it as much as everyone else does. So that's what I'm going with. My second roll for spring. Roll number 3. Got a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Published or set since the year 2020, so that should be pretty easy. The next spot that I landed on the board was published or set since the year 2020. This one's pretty easy because I only started reading again at the beginning of 2020, I believe, so most of my books are from then. I decided to go with The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This one is a little bit of a chunkier mystery thriller. I've only read one Lisa Jewell before. This one is about this young couple who had just had a kid, and they went to this party and they haven't been seen since. Lots of people are like convinced, including the guy's mother, that they like ran away because they just weren't ready to be parents and all of that, but the girl's mom knows something's wrong because she had found an engagement ring in Zach's coat pocket the day before. Why would two parents so devoted to their family abandon their child? The case runs cold, and then someone moves into this house that's bordering the same area of where they went to the party and went missing. She stumbles upon a mysterious note that simply reads, "Dig here." Could this be a clue to the young couple's disappearance and what exactly is buried in this haunted ground? So, I don't know. Sounds really good. I really have not heard anyone talk about this, but, so hopefully it's good. This was published in 2021. Okay, we're on roll number 4. Got a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Favorite genre. Then for my next roll, I landed on the prompt favorite genre, so this one was pretty easy for me because there is a new release that I'm super excited to get to, and that is Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. It hasn't been put out yet, so I will put the cover on the screen. It comes out August 30th, and I'm filming this before that, but I have it on pre-order. I've read every single book that Karen McManus has written. She's one of the authors that got me back into reading, so I'm just gonna keep getting her books as they come out. I'm super excited for this one. I don't really know what it's about. She writes YA mystery thrillers. It seems to be about this girl who moved away because after the murder of her favorite teacher, and the case hasn't been solved yet, and she's moving back and she is doing an internship with a true crime show, and I think she's using that in order to hopefully find out what happened to her favorite teacher. So I'm just gonna leave it out that because I don't think I've ever read that blurb because I don't remember that at all. I'm definitely getting to that one this month because I'm so excited about it. Now let's go into the 5th and hopefully final rolls of Bookoplathon. Roll number 5, possibly our last one. Out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Color wheel. So I'll randomly generate a color. For the 5th roll and final roll, I landed on the square for color wheel. So I have already generated the color because I filmed on my phone, so I couldn't do it on here. So I'll just put in the screen recording, but I got blue. I have a few options for this one. I'm actually going to pick The Prisoner by B.A. Paris. I randomly decided to get a NetGalley account and I just tried to get some arcs, and I got this one. This is actually my first arc ever because I've never really tried to get any. November 1st actually, but I thought I would get to it and actually read it before it comes out. I haven't read anything by B.A. Paris before, but this author has written the book Behind Closed Doors and people love that book, so I probably should read that first, but oh well. We're just gonna continue with this arc. So the cover, well, I'll probably put it on the screen, but the cover has blue sky, a pool looking thing, and the author's name is in blue. It's about one woman wed into a family with deadly intentions. She has always been a survivor from losing her parents as a child in Paris to making it on her own in London. As she builds a life for herself, she is swept into a glamorous lifestyle where she married the handsome billionaire Jed Hawthorne, but then she wakes up in a pitch black room not knowing where she is. Why has she been taken? Who are her mysterious captors? And why does she soon feel safer here imprisoned than she had begun to feel with her husband Jed? So very creepy sounding, domestic, maybe a bit of a mystery, so I think that will be good. If I don't read that one, which I think I will, but if I'm feeling like it's creepy I'm gonna read something else just because I don't want to be scared on my vacation. But that's what I'm gonna read on my vacation because I have it on NetGalley as an e-arc. But if I don't read that one, I'm gonna read The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This is another pretty popular mystery. Amber Patterson is fed up. She's tired of being a nobody, a plain invisible woman who blends into the background. She deserves more, a life of money and power like the one blonde-haired, blue-eyed goddess Daphne Parrish takes for granted. To everyone in the exclusive town of Bishop Harbor, Connecticut, Daphne, a socialite, and her real estate mogul husband Jackson are a couple straight out of a fairy tale. Amber's envy could eat her alive if she didn't have a plan. Amber uses Daphne's compassion and caring to insinuate herself into the family's life. The first step is a meticulous scheme to undermine her. Before long, Amber is Daphne's close confidant, traveling to Europe with the Parrishes and their lovely young daughters and growing closer to Jackson. But a skeleton from her past may undermine everything that Amber has worked for, and if it is discovered, her well-laid plans may fall to pieces. Those are all my books for Bookoplathon. Now let's talk about Seasonathon Academy. So Seasonathon Academy, or Seasonathon, the readathon in general, is hosted by Mel, Kaylani, and Clint. Again, I'll leave all the readathons information down below. And they do a readathon every season. For fall, they're doing like a academy type of thing. So you have to get certain classes for this semester. There's required classes which show what prompts you need to complete. This is part of the reason my brain was so messed up with what books I needed to put on my TBR, because I needed them to fit for Bookoplathon and for this one. Hopefully I complete this readathon, but again, with traveling, I have no idea because, you know, life doesn't go to plan. For your first required course, you need to take English 1010, read anything you want. So for that, I'm going to use It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is a pretty easy prompt to fulfill. Then the next class that you are required is Math 1010. So basically for this one, you add up the digits of your birthday. So say your birthday is January 2nd, 2000, you would do 1 plus 2, what year did I say? Say January 2nd, 2000, 1 plus 2 equals 5. With that number, then you have to find a book where the last page number ends in that same number. So if that was your birthday, you would need something that ended in a 5. Mine was hard. I'm just gonna say it. It was hard. Mine's a 2. I struggled and none of the books that I wanted to put on my TBR or I did put on my TBR had a 2. So I'm adding an extra book, and this is where it might go wrong because I don't know if I'll be able to read it. I'm gonna try. One of the only books that I found in my collection that ended in a 2 was The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I actually literally just bought this, I don't know, a week ago. Not very long ago, so good thing I got it because it fulfilled a prompt for me. But this is the second book in the Inheritance Games trilogy. The third book is coming out in August, but I have the paperback, so I was waiting until this one came out in the paperback to read this one. The first one follows, I think her name is Avery, and she all of a sudden randomly gets this message that she has inherited all this money and stuff and everything from this billionaire that she has never met. And so his family is really upset because they were all banking on getting a bunch of money from their grandpa or dad, and they're thinking that she is some type of scammer or whatever. The billionaire that died, he is known for his games and for his riddles, so the whole thing is a bit of a riddle that Avery and the grandsons of this billionaire are trying to figure out all throughout the first book. And I really enjoyed the first book. I think I gave it a 4.5. Super good, and there is a bit of a romance in that, so I hope it continues in here. I don't want to read what this one's about. Don't want to spoil the first one, but I'm really excited. So I would like to get to this one. I just don't know if it'll be possible. I don't know how busy I'm gonna be before my trip. So then the next one, it's for Fine Arts and Humanities. Historical understanding subcategory is what it says, but there is about 8 different prompts that you can pick from for this one. I picked mass media history, which was read an ebook or listen to an audiobook. So for this one, I'll either read The Stolen Heir or The Prisoner. Either of them will work, both ebooks. The next one also has multiple prompts that you can choose from. This one's Fine Arts and Humanities, Thought, Values, and Beliefs subcategory. I chose philosophy, applied critical thinking, which was read a mystery because I had multiple mysteries on my TBR. For this one, I'm going to use Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. I don't know if it's a thriller, but it's at least a mystery, so that works perfectly. And then the last one, it's foreign language, and you can pick between 2 different prompts. And I picked the one, read a book set in a different country from your own. I don't know this for sure, but the last Lisa Jewell book that I read was set in London or someplace in England. So I kind of assume this one will be as well. But if it's not, I will just switch the prompts for this one and Nothing More to Tell, because Karen M. McManus's books are usually written for the US and I'm from Canada. But yeah, I'm from Canada, so if it's in the US, that works too. As simple as that sounds, that took me a long time to figure out. these are the 3 physical books on that TBR. Again, this is probably the least likely to be done, but I'm hoping to be done. They are also having lots of sprints and stuff like that, so I'm hoping to be able to join those before I go on my trip, at least one, but we will see. Again, I don't know how crazy busy my life is going to be before then. Maybe I'll get a bunch of reading done, maybe I'll get 0, so we're really just out here having no clue what's going on. Probably missed some stuff, but hopefully not. But that's my TBR for September for the Bookoplathon and for Seasonathon Academy. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're taking part in either of these readathons. I would love to know what you're reading for them. And if you've read any of the books that I'm going to be reading in September, let me know what you thought of them. And also, again, let me know if you've been to anywhere in Europe or you're from Europe, if you have any recommendations, restaurants, sites, anything. I would love to know because there's a lot to do. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both of those would mean the absolute world to me. I will see you in my next video. Bye!